So I think that trailer is going to have every single Power fan hyped for season 2 of Ghost, especially because of Kanan's return in Tariq's hallucinations. This is something we spoke about during the Power Off season. We spoke about a lot of topics, and Tariq having a hallucination of Kanan certainly makes sense, but he's going to have a lot of issues from what we saw in the season 2 trailer. Tariq is going to be at the center of attention of the murder involving Jabari. Moni is going to be keeping him on his toes. He's got Kane who wants to make sure that he doesn't go down for the murder, as he tells Kane, "I've got this under control." This is something that Ghost used to say all the time. I've got this under control. It's definitely something Ghost would say, and as season 1 proved, Tariq really does accept that he's a lot like his father, but we see he has been taken into foster care, and Brayden needs Tariq because shit is definitely gonna go down. And I do expect Tariq to catch another body, and I will explain this in a bit more detail as I run through this video. So we're gonna talk all things Tariq's troubles, his Kanan's hallucination scene in a bit more detail, a potential kill scene, and run through a few characters as to who it could be. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2, Ghost, and Power Universe related. Now, one thing we have to remember, what we saw in the trailer is probably just the first half of the season. They did this last year where we only saw the first 5 episodes, albeit because they hadn't finished filming the last 2 episodes anyway, but I do think the main action towards the back end of the season is going to be even more crazier to what we've just seen. But going into season 2, the main question was, who is going to be the main suspect and who is going to be facing the prosecution for the murder of Jabari, because this is something that was teased during the Power Off season, and now we pretty much have our answer after this trailer. It definitely looks like it's going to be Tariq. He's going to be suspect number 1, as we see him being brought into the police station. But what evidence do they have on Tariq? Tariq was actually the last person who was in contact with Jabari, because I'm sure there would have been a text or a phone call between the two, because Jabari gave Tariq his number. And this was a key detail in episode 10. So one question for Tariq is, why was he the last person that Jabari was in contact with? But all this isn't new for Tariq. We've seen this before when Tariq was taken in for questioning after the death of Kanan. Tasha told him what he needed to say, and Tariq was prepped, and he even turned the waterworks on. They managed to pin Ray Ray's murder on Kanan, and Tariq was able to hold it down while he was being questioned. And he's going to be questioned again by the lead detective on this case, who's Kevin Whitman, and it's going to be the hot topic of Stansfield, and actually wonder what Tariq will say to Brayden. This was actually Monet's hand holding the phone, which said beloved Stansfield professor found murdered off campus, with someone in the background with their arm in a sling, which is most likely to be Drew, who's still recovering from his gunshot wound. But Brayden is definitely going to have some questions for Tariq, because he knows how crazy Kane is, but one thing he doesn't know is how Tariq is a killer himself. I know Brayden told Tariq that they can't keep secrets between them, because if the cops come asking questions, he needs to know what to say, but Tariq is someone who keeps his cards very close to his chest, and he doesn't reveal too much to too many people, just like his father Ghost. He never used to reveal too much to Tommy about what he was planning either, but Brayden isn't stupid, and he certainly will be able to connect the dots, and this will definitely make his role a lot more interesting as he starts to get deeper into the harder business, as he seems to be in this trailer. But Tariq is definitely suspect number 1, and how does he change this? The murder weapon. It's a crucial piece of evidence in this whole investigation, and there's just no way he's got rid of it, because he could definitely use this to plant it on someone else. Now Tariq is going to need the help of Davis McLean and Cooper Saxe, and if you notice in this scene, it's actually Cooper Saxe coming to the police station to possibly even help Tariq. I really wouldn't be surprised if he was the one phone call that Tariq made, and it was to Cooper Saxe, because who better to get him out of this sticky situation than someone who's dirty himself and knows how to bend the rules, just like Joe Proctor and how he helped Tommy and Ghost a number of times in Power. Especially because Jenny Sullivan is going to be on the other side of the investigation, and with Cooper Saxe having a sort of relationship with her, this is where he'll use his dirty tactics to try and get the information from her to help Tariq's case. Now something that's been revealed by Courtney Kemp is that Cooper Saxe is going to say in this conversation with someone that wherever Tariq goes, he causes a death, and those are going to be his exact words according to Courtney Kemp. And it's true, wherever Tariq does go, he causes a death, just like how we're going to see a death scene during this hallucination with Kanan. So let's talk about Kanan's hallucination in a bit more detail, and it is very interesting that the person that Tariq has a vision of is Kanan, and not his father Ghost. It's because he really did care for Kanan. He was the only person that did, you could say. He cared for Kanan more than he did his own father. But the question is, why is Tariq having a hallucination of Kanan at this specific moment? Now the last time he had a hallucination of Kanan was when he was at Truth, the night he killed Ghost. It was Kanan who convinced him that he needs to kill Ghost because he wouldn't see it coming from him, and no doubt Tariq is going to be faced with a similar situation in Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2 at some stage. This is probably going to be one of those ethical dilemmas that Tariq will face next season, from what's right and from what's wrong, and does the end justify the means? This is the question that's going to be asked in Season 2 of Ghost, which has been teased heavily over social media, but all of the characters have their own little title. deception for Monet, ambition for Davis McLean, respect for Kane, loyalty for Brayden, and lust for Carrie Milgram, which we'll go through in a bit more detail during each of their character breakdowns and their story arcs. But who could Tariq be faced to kill, and does the end justify the means? Could it be one of the Tahadas? Could it be 2-Bit? Because we all know that 2-Bit is still yet to collect from him, and I'm sure he's going to be back to collect. But whoever Tariq is going to smoke in this scene, it's going to be good to see Kanan back on our screens, even if it's just a vision and a hallucination scene. And I do think we'll get the same for Tommy in Power Book 4 Force. And I do wonder if and when we could get a Ghost hallucination scene, because the advice that he's getting from Kanan would be the complete opposite to what Ghost would tell him. But let's wait and see if this happens in a later season. I don't think it's going to happen in this season in my opinion. Now, one thing that's going to be crucial in the whole investigation with Tariq that we didn't touch on yesterday in the breakdown was the computer of Jabari's. This is where he has Tariq's whole story. And this has already been teased to play a huge role in season 2, so whoever finds this is going to have a lot of information at their disposal, and I do think Carrie will find this, as she seems a little distraught at the death of Jabari. It's natural to go seeking for answers when someone you cared for suddenly dies, and this is something that she'll probably do. She'll want answers, even if she's still in bed with Zeke, and when she does go looking for answers, this is going to bring her closer to Tariq, and it's going to bring her closer to the Tahadas, and her past as a prosecutor could definitely come into play. Now, Zeke is a huge problem for Tariq though. I can definitely see him slipping up during this questioning. There's just no way Zeke is keeping his mouth shut about everything that he knows, and even if he does reveal information that is key to the investigation, then we all know what happens to snitches. I really don't have a good feeling for Zeke going into season 2, especially because of this basketball connection in the Power universe, where we seem to have seen all of these basketball players being killed. There's Sean and D-Wiz, who both played ball in their Power shows, both being killed off, so I definitely don't have a good feeling for Zeke. Now, one character I really do feel sorry for is Yasmin, because her father's dead, Tasha is in witness protection, and it seems as if Grandma Estelle is going to be too sick to care for Yaz, or she could even be dead, because she was looking after Yaz in season 1. Now, the cop tells Tariq that she's going to go to a good home, and Tariq tells her that I'm her family, he'll do whatever that he needs to do to protect his family, and that means sacrificing anyone. And I do think there's going to be a sacrifice that is made in season 2, it's just a matter of who, when, and why. But one person who could be helping with this Yaz situation is Rashad Tate, and why we see Tariq approaching him? He's in Tariq's room looking around, and this is one person in a position of power that might be able to help Tariq. The question is, what is Rashad Tate's role going to be, and how is he going to help him? Well, we've seen Tate play a crucial role when he helped Dre get custody of his daughter back in Power, so we could very well see Tariq approaching Tate to do the same for him. But one thing's for sure, Rashad Tate doesn't do things for free. He'll want something in return, that's for sure, and you can guarantee he's going to be asking for his favour as they start to set up Tate's spin-off. Now, this whole love triangle with Effie, Diana and Lauren is definitely going to heat up this season. We see Effie and Diana fighting, with Tariq hitting both Lauren and Effie by the looks of it. So where does this leave Diana? I actually think that Lauren is the one that Tariq truly likes, but with Lauren it's complicated. She's straight by the book, as we've seen from season 1 and from the trailer, but we've all seen in the Power universe good people turn bad, so let's wait and see. But we also see Effie throwing a bag at Tariq, and she's probably not happy at the fact that Brayden is battered and bruised. You can see Brayden's face in this image, definitely looking beat up, and Effie's not happy with Tariq. But as Tariq says, they've all got to play the hands that they're dealt with, and they have to deal with their consequences, and well, Brayden wanted to be in the game, so now he's in it. Now, there was no Tasha in this trailer, and that's because she's in witness protection, and we're going to see this effect that it has on Tariq, because he's going to be totally isolated, with no family, not even his baby sister Yaz by the looks of it, as she's taken into foster care. And I know in this game you can't trust anyone, but he's going to have to, because in season 2 he's got no family. He's going to put his life in the hands of powerful people such as Davis McLean, Cooper Saxe and Rashad Tate, and all three of these characters have proved to us in the past that they're selfish characters. They'll do what's best for them. For McLean it's all about money, for Saxe it's about the position with law enforcement and just nailing one of the St. Patrick's at all costs. For Tate it's all about power and becoming governor at all costs, as he proved to us in Power by putting the hit out on Ghost. So Tariq putting his trust in these three people is risky, but he's got no choice. It's going to cost him money at the same time as well, and this would see him working with Monet and the Tahadas, and possibly Mecca too. So that's just a rundown of Tariq's story arc from what we saw in the trailer for season 2 of Ghost. But there's still so much more where we can dive deep into, so I will be doing character breakdown videos closer to the premiere of the first episode, just like I did with Raising Kanan characters, and over the next few days we'll be dissecting the trailer even further with Kane's role coming next. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think about Tariq's story arc? And how do you think he's going to deal with all of these issues that he has going into season 2? Drop all your thoughts and theories down below, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.